welcome back to another episode of Weekly Wahala. It's your girl Crystal Tweneboah, and on today's episode of Weekly Wahala, we're going to be talking about Asian doll getting accused of cultural appropriation. So this situation garnered quite a lot of conversation and like dialogue on social media. It wasn't like a big thing, but like I felt like I wanted to talk about this because I had some people weren't hitting, like not enough people were hitting on the ideas that I had, but so that's why we're here. So like about 3 days ago, the rapper Asian Doll came out and said that she was having an Indian themed birthday party on December 7th. So she basically posted on her Instagram story like references about what she meant. Like, so she posted like pictures of like Indian like clothing and stuff like that, so that people could get the inspiration of what she was talking about. And people also came out and corrected her that maybe you should have called the party a Bollywood theme party because like Bollywood is the culture, and I feel like she's enamored by the culture. So which obviously is understandable, but then people went back to her old tweets from 2012, and this is where things start to go downhill a little bit. So that's why I'm saying that it's very important that sometimes you have to be careful the way you treat people and what you say about people, because you never know when you might need something from the same person that you've talked about, or like I don't know, but like just be careful on. I feel like people like to say, oh, free speech, which completely you're allowed to give your free speech, but like being rude to people, like that's I'm not really talking about this. Like, I'm not just obviously shedding the light on Asian Doll. Like, I'm talking about a bunch of people, like even Lil Nas X, who was caught for saying some really horrible, who was caught for making some really horrible tweets about many celebrities. And now these are the same celebrities that he has to sit next to at award shows. And so when celebrities don't really mess with him and don't like him, which they have every right to because he said some really awful things about people, then it's, you don't like Lil Nas X or whatever. But anyway, that's why I'm glad that I just recently came on Twitter in September when when Facebook and Instagram and that was like shut down for like 6 hours. I was one of those people who ran on Twitter. I swore down, I never get Twitter, but I ran to Twitter to see like what the whole hype was about, and I'm just lurking on Twitter. But anyway, back to the story. So in the tweets she says, Indian men are so attracted to me. Okay, then she says I'm Indian, but then obviously the confusing part is that on the 18th of April, like before the couple of days before, she tweeted I'm mixed with Indian. So I'm guessing that's where she calls herself Asian Doll, because when I first was introduced to her and her music, I was confused as to why she calls herself Asian Doll, because she looks like a black woman, like phenotypically as a black woman. But yeah, maybe that's where the name Asian Doll comes from. So yeah, so then she says why I look like a damn Indian so much. And then the part where that made me give her the side eye was that she says I'm mixed with Indian, that's why my hair so good. So obviously back to this whole stupid conversation that, oh, if you're mixed with like whatever if you're mixed with something, that's what makes your hair so good. No, good hair is hair that's well kept and well maintained. It's not about genes or anything like that, or what you're mixed with that makes your hair so good. I feel like that's so stupid. That's why I wasn't very quick to run behind whenever like Asian Doll talks about colorism. I feel like colorism is an important conversation, and it affects many dark-skinned black women, and that conversation needs to be had. So I'm not gonna sit here and be one of those people who say, oh, colorism doesn't exist. That's bullcrap. But I'm not gonna be an attack dog for and I feel like sometimes black women need to be very careful who they defend, because when they hear, oh, colorism, like they're quick to get emotive and stuff like that. And I'm just like, Asian Doll is not a hill I'm willing to die on. Asian Doll is not somebody I'm willing to remove my everything and defend just in the name of colorism, because this is the same person who in 2020 she came out and made a tweet during the whole like Black Lives Matter movement during like in 2020. She came out and she said, oh, you light skin, well obviously this is the PG way of saying it, but I'll put the tweet down. But she said in the sense that, oh, light-skinned women shouldn't be coming out and saying Black Lives Matter because you bully dark-skinned black women. And so obviously like that, a lot of like black women were co-signing her, saying that, oh, she's telling the truth, she's telling the truth, she's telling the truth, which I get where she's coming from. But like when they went back to see her tweets from 2013, she said, see, it's a difference between brown skin and dark skin. Brown skin girls pretty, don't nobody want no African ass dark skin bitch. And this is somebody that we want to defend. I get the sense that with Asian Doll, she seems like the kind of person who when she faces colorism, because she's in the rap industry, you know, that is like the most the epicenter of colorism basically. When she faces colorism, I probably believe her. I believe her. Not I probably. I definitely believe her. She has faced colorism, but it's, you know, I'm not going to be quick to run behind somebody who, you know, when you're colorist to them, or when she faces colorism, it's, oh, that's unacceptable, or woe is me, you know, everybody hates me sort of thing. But then we'll turn around and be colorist to women of a darker hue. She's basically saying that, oh, you know, dark skin girls are pretty, like, you know, brown skin girls like me or are pretty, but don't nobody want no African ass dark skin bitch. And I think she means like that they're like really richly melanated women, like Anoki Eye, Ducky Thought, you know, Alec Weck, you know, Adot Akech, those type of women who are like really dark, like dark skin. They're still beautiful, but they're richly melanated. I think that that's the better word for it. And it's like she would turn around and be disrespectful to those women and forget that, like, you know, that's covered. And I feel like that's the issue, that, oh, because she's dark in herself, she can't perpetuate that colorism, which I think is bullcrap, because many black women, they're even darker skinned women, perpetuate colorism and still, you know, like will co-sign this kind of behavior. And it just goes to show that she's saying like she's praising her mixed qualities, and that, oh, I'm half Indian, so that's what makes my hair so good. And it's like, put her image and what she looks like aside, because I feel like a lot of people are looking at her as, oh, she's darker skinned, so she's allowed to say stuff like that. But if Asian Doll was to be a lighter skinned woman and she said that, like a lot of people would have jumped down her throat for it. Look at even Deja, T.I.'s daughter, when she turned around and said, like, tried to make a conversation and said that, oh, like, my hair isn't how I thought it was gonna be. Or like, a lot of people talk about the fact that I've got kinky hair for somebody who's light skinned, and a lot of like people jumped down her throat and said, oh, it sounds like you're complaining that because you're light skinned, you should have had a looser hair texture. And she sounds exactly like that, but of course a lot of people are going to brush it over because she's a dark skinned, a deeper skinned woman, a deeper skin tone woman saying that, which I feel like it's disgusting. Like we should still call out behavior like that. So obviously a few people were keeping it real with Asian Law, especially on Twitter, but quite a lot of like the blog comments, when you go in the blogs like on site and stuff like that, who posted it, the comments were, that's the reason why I made this video. The comments were saying that, oh, people love to complain, she did nothing wrong, yada yada yada. But now in a deleted tweet, because the tweet is now deleted, but obviously somebody was quick to like take a picture of it. And this was her in 2021, October 2nd to this year, just about a month ago, literally. She said, I'm in this Indian restaurant, what should I order? Everything look nasty. So let me repeat that. I'm in this Indian restaurant, what should I order? Everything look nasty. So obviously it can be two ways. She might feel like, oh, I actually like Indian food, but the Indian restaurant, like the particular restaurant I was in, the food was trash. Fair enough. Or she might be saying that Indian food as a whole is disgusting, but only God knows what she meant. Because I can sit here and say that, oh, she's disrespecting Indian culture and saying that, you know, Indian food is trash. She can say, oh, I just meant the restaurant is trash, and then we can be looking at each other like we're crazy. So it is what it is. But you know, even as well too, even the fact that she's deleted the tweet as a whole makes me feel like she was wrong. She knows that she was wrong for making that tweet. She knows that she's wrong for saying that Indian food is trash, only to turn around and say that I'm using that Indian culture to make a birthday party, which is what a lot of people are You know, so a lot of people are saying that she's culturally appropriating. They're bringing up the fact that she calls herself Asian doll, and that she's always culturally appropriating, and obviously the birthday party and stuff, which you know, understand that a lot of people are, that's why a lot of people are calling her a hypocrite. But so yeah, because I also feel like, you know, a lot of people are saying that, oh, like, she's allowed to do whatever she wants, it's a party, da da da. These are from black people. But if Ariana Grande or insert white celebrity here said that, oh, I'm gonna make an African birthday party, or an African, somebody even made an example. I said, or what if somebody said, I'm making an African American themed birthday party, and said, I'm doing all this, you know, I don't like the food, African American food is trash, but yeah, like, we're gonna wear like clothing that's very distinct to African American culture. How would you feel? Because I feel like sometimes a lot of people like to sit down when it's not their culture being disrespected. They like to sit down and say, oh, this person can do whatever they want, and like excuse their behavior. But it's like, if somebody was to because I know, like, I'm Ghanaian, I'm African, so if somebody was to turn around and say that, oh, Ghanaian food is trash, I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say, oh, I'll be okay with it. No, I wouldn't, even if it was their opinion. But I wouldn't be okay with it. So it's like, let's not sit there and co-sign her behavior and say, oh, she's allowed to. It's like, I saw somebody make a stupid comment, say, oh, she's allowed to not like the food. Yeah, you're allowed to not like the food, but then you can't in the same breath turn around and say, yeah, I'm gonna turn around. You can't in the same breath turn around and say, I'm gonna use the same culture from the food that you so-called hate, when obviously everybody knows that, like, culture, like food is a very big part of culture. Like, every single, like, any cultured person will tell you that. Like, you cannot just say that, oh, I like this part of the culture, but I'm gonna leave that in the bin. No, take the whole culture as it is, or if you don't like it, turn around and go somewhere else. And I feel like that's where like, that's my whole problem with this whole situation. So let's not co-sign it and say that, oh, it's okay for her to, like, not like Indian culture and not like this and what and so forth, because you're not Indian. But if somebody wants to disrespect your culture, and a lot of times when people turn around and they, you know, as black people, we're quick to say cultural appropriation, this person's appropriating my culture. But then, like, when the time comes for you to be appreciative, or like when the time comes for you to check somebody and say, oh no, there's a ways to go about it, you're not really showing that you're appreciating this culture, then you're co-signing this rubbish. Absolutely not. So yeah, that's all I've really got to say about this video. That's all I've really got to say in this video. Like I said, I'm not going to be emotional and run behind Asian doll in the spirit of, oh, colorism, you know, dark skin unity, when this individual has made it very blatantly clear in many different situations that she doesn't like colorism, which is good, but she doesn't like it happening when it's her. But she will turn around the spectrum when there's, you know, because obviously skin tone is of a different spectrum. It's not just black, white and mixed in the middle. There's like whole, like, skin tone runs through a wide variety of spectrum. But she's gonna turn around and look across and look above her and say, oh, it's very disgusting that I'm receiving this colorism, but then we'll turn around and perpetuate that same colorism to one of a darker hue. Like, if you want to speak out against colorism, then speak out against it in all shades. Don't just speak out on it when it affects you, but turn around and say, oh, I'm mixed and I'm all this. She sounds like I said, she sounds like the same light-skinned woman she complains about. Like, remove the whole her being dark skin and her being a deeper skin tone. Remove all that and put that to the side. If that was like a Deja saying that, like she was a couple of months ago, a lot of people were quick to call her out and say that, oh, she's being divisive and all that stuff. And obviously I don't buy into this rubbish. So anyway, thank you guys. If you've reached this far, thank you so much for listening to me rant, and thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.